Adventures of Mac Anthea and part 2 of our Caravan Renovation Project. Now, I think it's probably been about a month since we started part 1 of the Caravan Renovation Project. We had other things to go and do. We had a couple of videos to make on off-grid timeouts, retracing the Great Southern Spain Railway line, which we've done one with Mike walking and one by bicycle with Anthea. So we were busy with that and various other little things. I'm still carrying on trying to catch up with all the mechanical work on various different vehicles and machines, which are particularly interesting video content. So anyway, we're back down here again. We're here on the Saturday. It's going to be a hot day, so we've probably got to crack on. And we're going to carry on with the caravan. Now, if you recall previously, if you watched the previous video, if not, I'll put a link up above here. Since being empty since 2008, we finally got round to actually clearing all the junk and crap we've been stashing up in there, God knows how many years. Getting rid of the rats who turned out had gone, probably eaten by all the snakes. They'd gone, so we got that out, and then all the sort of the crap and the pee left by the rats, everything all needed clearing out. And then we actually took out all the actual caravan furniture as well. So that ended with that, and I sprayed it down with bleach. Now, we're going to try today to clean it up a bit more, do a deep clean, because it started out sort of smelling like a really badly kept stable. Then I sprayed it with the bleach water and it ended up smelling like a really badly kept gents' public toilets. Now, after about a month, it's calmed down a bit and it's gone back down to sort of smelling still a bit stably. So we brought some water down with us. We've got water here in the main water tank, but that can smell a bit pondy, so I don't really want to add another aspect to the stink in the caravan. So we brought some fresh water down. We're going to make a fire and boil it up on an open fire. And then what we're going to do is we're going to follow a bit of advice from our daughter who's recently over. And she says try some bicarbonate and soda and see if that works. She says that'll often neutralise bad smells she's found in the past. So shout out to Shannon if you're watching. We'll try that and give that a go and see if we have any success with that. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll jump in the caravan, we'll have a quick chat in there, and then we'll crack on. Okay, so here we are. Got to say straight away, it does smell quite a bit better, but you see there's sort of a lot of grounding crap and that and muck all on the floors. I think probably the first job today is going to be we're going to strip these wires out. You can see they're here in the corner, and they all sort of go that one there, and where they go into the wall here, they're all marker lights for the actual marker lights when you drive the caravan. And obviously we don't need that. And all this wiring, I'm not quite sure what we're going to keep, but I'm thinking all the wiring along the floor. I don't want wiring in conduit along the floor like this anyway, so I think what I'm going to do, I'll probably end up running the wiring actually underneath the caravan and bringing it up through the floor where I need it. We will be keeping both 220 volt and 12 volt DC as well, because a lot of things run quite well on DC. I'll just do a converter that steps down the 220 down to the 12 volt. Things like USB ports. I'm going to put a fan up in there. We've got one in Hobbit, which works really well, so I'm going to put one in there over the bed as well, which it runs on 12 volt but consumes very little power. So yeah, we're going to have both types of power in here. So I think the first thing to do, get some masks on just to help us a bit. Strip these wires out, get these all cut out, and whereas we normally work from the top and our way down, I think we can't really get away with that. I think we're going to have to have another try and sweep out and try and scrub up with some bicarbonate and soda all these stains to try and get this floor a bit cleaner. Okay, we're going to cheat a bit. Okay, I think that's going. Let it burn down a bit, a few more logs on, and then we'll get the big pan on and boil some water. Okay, so I'm going to cut these wires in lengths because even though we're probably not going to need them, they're still, you know, it's an expensive job cable, so it's worth saving. So I'll cut them into lengths and get them out. Okay, so that's all that out of there. All pretty easy, came out all pretty easy. All the way around. Alfie's just clearing out the last bits and pieces so we can carry on with the next stage. I have left and rolled up some of these wires up to the top here. Now I can't think of any reason whatsoever why I'd want wires going up top and through the ceiling to these multiple points here. But you never know, and we don't need to take them out yet, so I think I'm going to leave them there for the time being, up into this corner as well. just in case I need them. They can easily be taken out at a later date if I don't. So I think the next stage is we're gonna have a good sweep out. Now we can actually get into the corners without the wires being in the way. Get as much as we can of the loose horrible stuff out, and hopefully by then the water would have boiled and we can get on with giving it a good scrub with our bicarbonate and soda. Okay, so that's come up pretty good. You've got a little bit here, as you can see here, that's where the tank was sealed down, the water tank to the floor. That there where the shower was down to the floor, we'll scrape that a bit. But on the whole, it's come up pretty good. Now we're not too bothered about, the gouges in it. We're going to fill holes like this where the gas fire was. Obviously we'll blank that off, that hole there, out from the tank, and that where the fan went through. We'll block all them up and everything, probably from underneath. But we're going to go over all of this with laminate flooring. So, the odd gouge here and there and, a bit of a stainless smear, doesn't really matter. It's all going to be covered over, so, no worries there. So I think now we've got the floor a bit cleaner and it's definitely smelling a hell of a lot better in here. We're going to start on these lockers, give them a little bush out a bit more, and we've got a couple of bacteria sprays, and we're going to go over everything with that big bacteria spray. So, go stoke the fire up a bit, get some more boiling water on, and we'll crack on with that. Okay, so I think that's us done for today. It's getting to about half past 2, 2:45. We had a slight change of plan in the end because we thought if we go and do the really minging bits first, the water will be no good for anything else. So we started by cleaning all the windows. Most of them have been done, and then we started scrubbing the walls. You probably can't tell on the camera, but they're a hell of a lot cleaner. Anthea's done the bedroom end. Really look quite clean, the walls here now. I've done this end here. This bit was particularly dirty and minging along there, and we washed the windows. I've just got this side to do, and this bit here, and then of course then we've got the dreaded lockers. So we're going to call it today a day for today. Once we've got the fire going, we'll have some sausages. I'm thinking a bit of a barbecue, take advantage of that, and then we'll have an afternoon chilling out before we start again tomorrow. Good morning and welcome back. Today's Monday morning. We have planned to work Sunday, but after a bad night's sleep on the Saturday and promises of 29 degrees in the day on Sunday, we decided against it. We'd already had a bad night's sleep Friday, which is mainly due to the pollen here at the minute. April and May is really high with olive pollen, and even people like us who never suffered with hay fever allergies in the past in the UK do suffer every year with the pollen. I don't think there's many people who don't. So it's particularly bad down here at the farm rather than back at the house, which there's still lots of olive trees around back at the house, but I think because it's at a very elevated level, much of the dust and the pollen doesn't actually make it through the windows. That's the only thing I can think of anyway. So anyway, I'm going to quick back over to the caravan. I'll run you through what we're going to do today. Okay, so basically today's going to be a carry-on from Saturday. First thing I noticed as soon as I come in here, the smell has gone, so Good call there from Shannon, our daughter, for the bicarbonate and soda. That seems to have worked. It's taken the smell out completely. Now we're going to carry on today with the cleaning. I'm not going to do any more footage of it because you've seen a load of cleaning. How much cleaning can you watch, you know? But I'll quickly pop outside and tell you what the next stage is, and after that, if we get onto that to today. So, what we want to do is pull this caravan out so we can get all the way around it. Quickly show you around the back end of it. So you can see there's all weeds and everything out the back of there, which makes it difficult to get to. Where I've chopped out this bank here, across here, which you probably would have seen in the previous video, I want to chop all that out anyway and remove all these weeds and clean it all up. So what I'm going to do, I think we'll have to trim away all these weeds sort of at the back here, trim them out. I'm going to bring the digger or probably the dumper up and see if we can gently pull it out. But the problem we've got, first we've got to try and get the legs up, which we're going to try and get to. You can see them just through there. There's the bolts in there we've got to get to wind the legs up. And then of course, not only have we got flat tyres, but over the years they've blown out, so we're not using them. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to probably get a chain or a large cargo strap, gently pull it out so it's free, so we can get to sort of over to next to that water tank over there. Get it out from there and try and get the wheels off. Now also I know that they've got security locks on it, and I had some tools stolen out of my workshop years ago it was, and the keys to the wheel locks are in there. Now I think I can probably get around it by hammering on a socket, a tooth socket onto it, and I'll probably be able to get them off, but it's just an extra challenge to go with everything else. Then I'll be going down, and once this is out and we've got the wheels off, I'll go down the scrapyard. I'll just get the cheapest second-hand tyres I can get to go on this, because at the end of the day we're going to be moving this about 25 metres from one end of the yard to the other, so I don't need posh tyres or anything. Anything will do as long as they stay up and they're mobile. Okay, so we'll crack on with the cleaning, and then what I'll do is I'll bring you back in when it comes to shifting this caravan out the way, like I say, either with the digger or the dumper. So we're finished inside the caravan. We've cleaned it all out and got to almost all the nooks and crannies and everything in there. We're probably going to go over it another 2 or 3 times yet with some more bacteria spray, but we've got the worst of it out now and ready to move on to the next stage. So Anthea's just trying to trim out some of these weeds here so we can get access to these points underneath here and see if we can crank these legs up. So I can't find the cranking handle, so I've had to go and get a socket set. So I'm going to try and crank those handles up, hopefully they're not seized, and we'll see if we can drag this out. So that's 3, and number 4, oh my god, it's under there somewhere. Okay, Anthea's going to try and clear a bit, and I'll see if I can get in and with the tool. Okay, so I can't really see where I'm going to get any straps on at the minute, and we've also got the added problem of these old trunks here, which are a bit too thick to get with the snips. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the digger up here and see if I can carefully get in with the bucket along here and tear these out without damaging this, and take it from there. But time's getting on now and we're starting to flag a bit, so we'll see how we get on. If it comes easy, we'll carry on. If not, we'll bin it and we'll start again tomorrow. See it there on the camera, Anthea had a near miss. Yeah, don't need these out, look. They are nasty. There's not many things I kill here in Spain, but scorpions is one of them. Okay, so I've managed to find a hole in the chassis. I hope that's to be strong enough. I've threaded the chain through, fitted the shackle. Same on the other side, and I'm going to try and get a cargo strap on the centre of this chain here. Okay, so that's plan A. Chain there, and then we've got the big cargo strap shackled to the chain. I'm using the digger for a reason. Played these sort of games before in the past, and the good thing about the digger is if you click it onto the clip on the bucket, it means the point you're pulling at, the direction, you can move it, because you can obviously move the arm around and the bucket. That way you can sort of control which direction you pull something out, especially when you sort of title down a bank like that or something. You can sort of adjust which angle you pull the caravan away and out. used it quite a few times in the past, this method, actually with static caravans into really quite tight spots. So I know it works. We'll just have to see if it works with flat tyres. Okay, so we're ready to go. I'm going to gently pull it out. Anthea's job is to sort of run around here, there and everywhere and make sure I'm not about to hit something, and bellow at the top of her voice if I am going to, because obviously I need to hear her over the top of the engine noise of the digger. So that's gently to try and tickle it out of this spot. Okay, I think we'll call that a success. As far as I can see, there's no damage. Let's go and have a quick look round. So these are the roots that are sort of messing us about and we're catching a bit. But we've been dragging on the front here, but we don't seem to have any damage on here, which is nice. Yeah. Ooh, something minging from the weeds that have been rubbing against it. And now we're looking pretty good, and these tyres aren't even shredded here. I may try and inflate them. I'm not holding out much hope, but I may try and inflate them a little bit. Actually, no, one's got a split here, so I think it's them off and just some cheapy scrapyard tyres. Okay. Well, I'm quite happy with that. Brilliant. Okay, so I think we're going to call it for today now. Like I say, we're starting to flag. We've had enough today. I'll leave the digger up the top here, because then I can clear all this, all these weeds up here, right up to the tank out. I can also cut that bank back a bit to where the wall's going to go at a later date and clear all that out as well. So make this another nice area here. I think I'll just crank up those front legs a little bit, just to get that up off the ground and level it up a bit, just in case it's sitting on plastic there. Good morning and welcome back. We're back down at the farm and we're continuing on with the work on the caravan. It's quite a few days since we finished cleaning and actually pulled the caravan out a bit so we could get around it and work on it better. So today I'm on the wheels. I'm going to try and get the wheels off. So pretty simple job. You know, I loose off the wheel nuts, jack the caravan up and take the wheels off. Or so you would think. As usual, no, it's not going to be that simple. In my infinite wisdom, about 20 years ago, I decided to put lock and wheel nuts on. This is a Caravan, the tablet, which is particularly favoured by gypsies back in the UK. And I considered the chances of the wheels getting stolen pretty high, you know. So I thought, yeah, let's get some locking wheel nuts on there. Unfortunately, not long after I put those locking wheel nuts on, my shed got burgled, my tools got stolen, and the actual adapter key to this was actually in my toolbox. So I've no longer got the special adapter key to get the locking wheel nut off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, in a minute, I'll spin you around and I'll show you the solution, or what I hope is going to be the solution to get these wheel nuts off, get the wheels off and get some new tyres on them. Okay, so this is the plan. What I'm going to try and do is try and smash on a toothed socket, slightly smaller than the actual special wheel bolts. Try and smash it on over so that it gets a grip, and then loosen it off. I'm going to use one of these toothed ones as opposed to sort of one of these nut-shaped ones. That I think will get a better grip. Now, I don't want to put it on too far, because obviously I've got 4 to get off, and I've actually got to get that bolt back out of here afterwards. So I want to sort of get a good balance of tapping this on so that it grips the bolt, but still be able to get the bolt out of it afterwards. Now, to aid that, I'm going to use this tool here. For those of you not familiar with this tool, this is an impact driver, and what happens is as you hit it with the hammer, it actually turns this part of it as well. So you can actually set it on tighten or loosen, and as you impact the top of this, the impact driver, it turns whatever you're trying to loosen, which is well handy, because obviously you know the force of this hitting that way puts force in the direction of the bolt, so it's less likely to slip and round off whatever you're trying to loosen. So you've got that, and then with the turning, that also loosens it or tightens it at the same time. Now this is particularly handy. I mean, I've originally used this in the past for taking screw bolts out of Japanese motorcycle casings, you know, because they can particularly easily round off. They're also very handy for things like the retaining screws on brake discs or brake drums that just hold that in place while you get the wheel on. They're often difficult to get out, and this is really good for that. You can take this off and then you can just put your socket straight on also. So first of all, I think what we're going to do is try and get this on an extension bar, bang this onto the wheel nut, and then what we'll do then, once we've got it on far enough just to bite, we're going to try the impact driver on it and see if it loosens it. Wish me luck. Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera. I don't know if you can see inside that hole there. That's actually the standard bolt, and then sort of down here, hang on, I'm going to turn you sideways, is the special locking bolt. Now I've tried an 18mm, that's too big, and I've just tried the 17mm that just seems just a bit too small. So we're going to try smashing on that one first. Okay, that seems to have got it a bit. Now we'll try the impact driver. Okay, that seems to have got it. Okay, success. 1 down, 3 to go. Okay, so now we've got to try and get that bolt back out of that socket. Probably not going to be an easy job. That went a bit too easy. I hope nobody's going to use this as a tutorial on how to steel alloy wheels. Okay, that's off. So I think this time I'm just going to go straight in with the impact driver, and hopefully it won't get wasted on so much this time. You see that's it's far from a standard wheel bolt, that. Okay, that's not working so great. We'll go back to the bar. That was on well. Okay, not sure if that's shifting. Let's try it with an extension bar. Okay, that shifted, that was tight. Oh, you can see that split the socket. Yeah, I thought that might happen, and I don't know if I'm going to get that back out of there. That's fully in. I don't think I'm even going to bother trying to get that out of. I've got old Imperial sizes as well, so I'll try and find the old Imperial equivalent of 18mm and use that on the other ones. Okay, so we're around the other side. Got a nice bit of shade. Looks like the equivalent of 18mm is around 11/16. So we'll try that one on here. And I think this time I'm going to go straight in with the ratchet bar, not use the impact driver, see if that stops it from pushing too far on. Okay, and that shifted that one. Okay, so that's still well into that. I suspect the 11/16 is probably a halfway size between 17 and 18mm. That slipped on there quite easy, but it's got hold of it. Let's see if we can get it off and use it one more time. Luckily there's no damages or splits up to now on that. Okay, so that one was a bit of a pick to get back out again, that wheel nut out of the socket, but that's one. Hopefully this one will be an easy one. Right, not too tight this time. No, fail. Right, I'm going to bang this one all the way on because it's turning. I don't want to risk rounding it off. Okay, that one's not having it. I'll have to try another socket smaller again. Okay, so we'll try a 5/8, slightly smaller socket again, and see if that gets a grip of it. No joy. Let's try something else. Okay, we're going to try a hex for my air ratchet set this time. A hex nut one, and see if that will get over it and loosen it off. Hopefully these will be a bit stronger. No, won't get a grip of it. Try something else. Okay, let's try 19mm hex, see if that'll do it. No, I don't think so. No. Okay, so we kind of fell at the last hurdle there. Couldn't get that last locking wheel bolt out. I've broken the 17mm and the other wheel nut's a 17mm, but I have got an 11/16. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on trying to get the wheels off that I can get off, get it jacked up, get it up on some blocks, and get the wheels off that I can get off, and come back to that final wheel at the end. So I've managed to get that jacked up, some concrete blocks and wooden blocks up to support the chassis, and I've got the two wheels off on this side. I haven't done it on the other side because I've still got to get that one wheel nut out. I'm going to try one more thing before we go to more extreme measures to get it off. So I'm going to take the socket that's jammed on the stud back to the house, try and get it out in the vise, and then come back down and see if that 17mm is going to be just that little bit more tighter, just to get it off before we say, like I say, go to more extreme means to try and get that wheel stud out. Okay, so success. That 17mm was just that fraction a bit smaller. Even though it had the crack on it, and it's had it now, I managed to smash it fully onto the bolt, and I managed to crack it loose. And thank God for that, because it was going to be a real major job if I couldn't do that. I had visions of having to bring the welder down and try and weld the socket to the bolt from the inside, or trying to use a stud extractor, which I didn't have a lot of faith in either, or just drilling it all out, which wouldn't have been an easy job because it's probably high tensile steel, those studs. So I'm just going to take those wheels off around that side, and then we're all ready to get down the scrapyard and get some new tyres on them. So before I take these wheels off, I'm just going to have a quick measurement, because whilst I don't really care, you know, what size the wheel size is on the new tyres, we don't want them touching. So if they do put a tyre on is cheaper with a larger wheel, which I don't mind, they can't be so big that the two tyres are going to rub in the middle. So I'm just going to do a quick measurement across from rim to rim, there to there, and that's 26.5 centimetres. That way I can lay the wheels out down at the scrapyard and see that when I put them back on, there's still going to be a gap between the two. Okay, so that's our final wheel off. I think we're going to call it today. It's 1:45. Scrapyard closes at 2, and I don't do manual work in the afternoon. I chill out and do my editing and things like that. So, yep, I think off to the scrapyard, new tyres on, and then we'll take it from there. Job could have been a lot worse. Could have been hard if we hadn't got that last bolt in out. But on the other hand, it could have been a hell of a lot easier if people hadn't stolen my kit in the first place. But there you go. That's what we had to work with. So that's what we worked with. Okay, so I'll bring you back in when we get to the scrapyard. So, good morning and welcome back. Just let this car go by. So, we're down at the scrapyard. Let's go and see if we can get some cheap tyres. So we're back down at the farm from the scrapyard. We've got 4 new tyres. Not quite as cheap as I hoped. I hope to get down there and buy 4 worn out tyres, you know, worn right down to the markers, and basically get them for free and just pay for them to be fitted. I hope to get that for about €40. As it happens, they had no worn out tyres, and I had to actually buy 4 decent ones. But it still only came to €75. I paid 70 for the tyres. I gave the guy who fitted them a fiver for a beer. So I'm quite happy with that, and he did do a good job. He put plenty of sealant around the beads, you know, to make sure that we didn't have them leaking from the rims, and he fitted new valves, which has got to be worth something in itself. Okay, so I think what we do, we're gonna get on with fitting these tyres and start making our way to the end of this video. Okay, so that's the tyres all on, and basically that's the end of that stage of the caravan renovation. I'd just like to re-emphasise what I said at the start of the last video. This caravan's never going to be moved, never going to be used on the road. If it was to be used on the road, these tyres would be completely unsuitable. These are car tyres, which I believe are probably 4-ply. Caravan and trailer tyres are special, they need to be 6-ply. So I will never be able to drive this caravan on the road or tow it on the road with these tyres on it. So coming up in part 3, we're going to be doing things, we're going to seal this up from the elements, basically, from the outside elements. We're going to repair the window here, block the holes up there, remove this satellite dish from up here, again repair this window, basically seal it all in from outside. A couple of holes to reseal here on the outside where the vents for the fridge and the cooker were, which we'll no longer need. And we're also going to seal in the skylight on the roof. So this is a point where things start to get a little bit more interesting, because we've stripped it out and we're going to start rebuilding it. And at the end of all that, again, we'll give it a good power wash and clean it up and see how ugly it actually looks once it's had a good wash. So unfortunately, part 3 of this video may be some way off. We're now halfway through May, and I'm probably not going to be able to get around to doing it until sort of September time. We go away to northern Spain around July, for the whole of July and August really, to escape the heat. We can't really do any work here. It's sort of mid-40s, it's very uncomfortable. So we go up to northern Spain and do a series of videos and chill out up there where it's sort of mid-20s and a bit more civilised. So you're welcome to come along with us on that trip. We'll end up probably doing about 12 videos on that, including the journey, the places we visit, and the activities, which will range from sort of biking, mountain biking, walking and kayaking. So from now on, sort of to that point, we're going to start trying to get the motor home ready and to go, and all prepared to go. Still got quite a few jobs to do on that. I've still got a continuing ABS problem, which was from last year, which I sort of got the mechanic to switch the light off so I could pass the ITV and get off on holiday. We'll talk about that more later, and I will be doing a separate video, because this time I'm going to attack the ABS problem myself and not have all the messing about with the mechanic sort of screwing me around for 2 months at a time. So I'm going to get on and do that myself. I bought some extra software and things like that, and I should be going through that step by step, because nobody's made a video on that for that particular. It's a 2.8 JTD, probably one of the most common engines about 15 years ago, and nobody's made a video on that as far as I can tell, and information is very scarce. I'm also going to be fitting a Wi-Fi area and a 5G router in there, so we've got good internet whilst we're away, because we really are out into the middle of nowhere up in northern Spain, and it can get a bit patchy, the old internet up there. Additionally, there's probably going to be another video actually on extra security in the cab. I'm going to be fitting some cab locks, as opposed to doing what we've been doing up to now, where we've been sort of threading the seat belts through the door handles and then plugging them in to try and stop people from, basically getting in through the cab, because obviously the cab locks are fairly weak and a good access point for people to sort of come and burgle your motorhome even when you're asleep. So I want to really get on that and feel a bit more secure at night. So anyway, I think that's enough rabbiting on for me there. If you made it to the end of the video, well done. You know, you've got more attention span than most people.